from the MITM Business Consultants
comes Man in the Middle, your one-stop shop for financial tips and tricks that big banks and corporate America won't teach you
and don't want you to know.
Discussing the latest and greatest products, services, skills, and habits to grow and support the financial needs of your business and you. Giving you the knowledge to help make your own important choices for your business and you.
Disclaimer: Man in the Middle expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, reliance on, or inability to use this podcast or the information presented in this podcast.
Now, here is your Man in the Middle, with 10 years of experience in the financial and banking industry, Art Abrahamian.
What is going on, everybody? This is episode 8 of Man in the Middle. George, what's going on?
How's it going, everyone? How you guys doing?
You know, I'm disappointed we're even having this one because you go back like one or two podcasts. I didn't even think we'd be having this podcast.
I knew we would have it eventually.
I really thought they were going to do better than the $600. So today's podcast is going to cover the 1099K forms for anything that is given by electronic transfer through banking apps, Cash App, Venmo, of over $600.
Sounds scary.
First and foremost, this information is tax related, and I am a tax professional in the state of California and with the feds in the IRS. I do have my PTIN and my CTEC ID. This information is not tax advice for the listeners. This is just general information that could be pertinent to you. If you're looking for something more structured in way of taxes and you'd like to have that done, feel free to reach out to us directly and we can schedule an appointment to talk about the taxes that could affect you personally versus as a whole from the information that we're sharing. The information we're sharing is what's public information as of right now, and it could be subject to change. So what we talk about today may or may not be prevalent tomorrow because something could happen and they could realize it's just a stupid idea, which I think it is.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what this whole legislative thing was. Originally, they were saying that the government was saying that they wanted to catch people who weren't reporting up to $600. Well, no, it's 1099 form can't be given to you unless you make $600. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Under $600, under $600, most tax softwares won't even print the 1099 NEC form or 1099K or whatever type of 1099 form. Most of them just don't do it. They just say it's not even an amount that you can. They said, okay, well, these cash apps, because people pay through like Cash App and Venmo and Zelle and like all these other ones. And, people go, hey, I want to buy that on like Let Go or whatever. And you get there, you get the item, hey, man, you take Cash App. Yeah, okay, I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Now, if you do that, over $600 is an accumulative, not just as a one transaction. So if you do $50...
And it adds up to 600?
And it adds up over 600 and over.
Okay.
You're going to get a 1099 from that application.
Wow. Okay, now I see how it
so
works.
it's not like, per transaction, I'm just going to keep it under 600. Because that's what I heard some people talking about. Well, I'm just going to do everything under 600. Like it's not like that. The system's going to have it recorded in their software that this is how many transactions went out. Now, there's been a lot of speculation that's not true from what we know as of right now, and that is people who, one of our clients, actually, their kids said, well, what about, he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, why? He says, well, I have 2 roommates that pay me $700 a piece each, and now I've got to report a 1099 on them, and I said, I don't know until we find out and get some more details about what the IRS has public and what these companies are making public information, what's going to happen. And good. So we're going to talk about what's real and what isn't. So that gentleman who came in saying that he was going to have to pay taxes on his roommate's rent is not going to. So they've separated it. Some categories don't qualify for this 1099K form, and some do. This purpose of this whole thing was to catch millionaires and billionaires from cheating the system. But to be honest with you, I think this is just going to screw a lot of
middle class and lower class,
hardworking lower class, middle class people that are barely getting by and use a side hustle just to just to bring a little bit more money into
Yeah.
their household. And I'm really upset about that.
Uh-huh.
And there was just some bogus stuff that came out too. And we'll talk about that during the podcast about reporting criminal income. And we'll talk about that. I don't know what's going on. I just feel like every day it's just crazier and crazier.
Just
and,
cracking down
again,
on-
we're not. They're going to be hiring about 5,000 plus IRS agents, and which probably means more audits are going to be coming. Who knows? It's speculation, but I don't see why they would need 5,000 plus agents.
Yeah.
Whether they're going to get that many people that are qualified to do it, who knows? That's another thing, but that's just speculation as to what they're looking to do.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. So
Okay.
pretty much any business transaction totaling over $600, if you're self-employed or even have a side hustle, you don't even technically have to be self-employed.
Okay.
But if you get paid through digital apps, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, any of them,
Okay.
any earnings over $600 will now be reported to the IRS directly. So not only are you going to get a form, but they're going to know. So they're not doing this be honest method. They will know. So there's whole, I just won't tell them. You don't have to tell them. They know. They're just waiting to see if you're going to file it.
So
like you're
does
supposed to.
Does this apply to personal checks?
It's business income. Any income that's over $600 that's meant for like labor, services, retail, you shouldn't be getting a personal check if you're not. You see
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
people do, you know.
Yeah, but why would you get a personal check? Like for what? I need an example.
You know, cut someone's lawn.
Yeah,
mow
that's a
someone's
job.
lawn,
That's an
or-
income. That's a business income. That's what that covers. But that's what I'm saying. People who do those side hustles just
Yeah.
for a couple $100 here and there, maybe $2,000 a year, you can't do that and not report it anymore. You're gonna have to cover.
Okay.
You're gonna have to report that.
Yeah,
So
that's a bummer.
we don't agree. I don't agree with it. I think it's stupid. I
Yeah.
think personally I don't know. I don't even
That
have words
sucks,
for
man.
it. I really didn't think we'd be having this conversation. Honest to God.
I
Didn't
knew it
think
would
so.
come. I knew this day would come.
And I knew it was going to happen. I didn't think they were going to stick to the 600. In our last podcast, I even said, we're not going to talk about it until it's done. They're already talking about making it 10,000, 100,000. No, they stuck to 600. So,
Terrible.
apparently this is called the American Rescue Plan. And it went into effect January 1st.
Rescue what?
Right. We're not going to. So, prior to the American Rescue Plan, these agencies only reported more than 200 commercial transactions and more than $20,000 in payments.
Wow.
So if you made more than 20 or you did more than 20K or you did 200 total transactions, more than 200 total transactions, those same apps would send you a form because they're like, hey, you're a legitimate business.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's been brought down. There is no more transaction threshold. It's just $600 is the minimum limit in which you're going to start getting that form. So this new law won't apply to 2021 taxes. So for those listening, this does not
good.
apply to your 2021.
That's good.
It's great. 2022, however, which we're in,
Yeah.
luckily it's January the 20th, Thursday the 20th when we're doing this.
Yeah.
And this is something that if you don't have a tax professional, if you don't have an accountant, if you don't have a business consultant, if you don't have people like us who do this for a living, it's maybe this year's the year. You might be pretty surprised what a membership like ours would do for you in the long run with the information, we're able to provide you and kind of help you.
Yeah, I'm
steer
sure
along
you'd
the
be
way.
able to help out a lot of people.
At least structure something so that
Yeah.
they can at least, if
Cover
they're going to
their-
pay these taxes, at least obtain the best possible outcome they can.
Yeah.
So it's just what it is. But like I said, it's going to go through your 2022, and you're going to have to report it in 2023 for 2022. Like I said, there's a lot of talk about like what is and what isn't, and there's a lot of speculation about what is and what isn't, and we're going to kind of debunk some of those. So like, it's not a tax change; it's a reporting change. That's the thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's a complete tax change." It's like, no, it's not a tax change. It's just a reporting change. Because technically speaking, if you're self-employed, you should already be reporting taxes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So going back to your point, we're like, what if it's a personal check? Like,
Yeah.
no, you're cutting lawn, you're doing business.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
How much are you cutting this lawn for? $80? I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's just not the way the eyes of the IRS and the government see it.
'Cause a lot of people were getting away with that stuff. But I guess from this point forward, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, like nobody's going to get away with it. But the point was it was literally said it was supposed to target the wealthy and not the average.
Yeah.
But it's targeting it. I think this is going to affect more average than wealthy because most wealthy were already reporting their income.
Yeah.
That's
And just
what
writing
is.
it all off.
Yeah, they were writing it all off where they were prepaying their taxes. There are plenty of people, we hear this all the time. This person didn't pay any taxes. Yeah, because he prepaid. Elon Musk, you didn't have a tax bill. Yes, dude, because he sent a $600 million, tax payment, $1 billion tax payment. Mm-hmm. So he could not have to worry about it for a couple of years. But anywho, so you're going to be paying taxes on your total income, regardless of how you receive your payments. So it's not a tax change. It's a tax reporting change. So the IRS can keep tabs on the transactions made through payment apps that often go unreported. Mm-hmm. So most of these apps, like Zelle, for instance, the daily limit was $2,500 after you've established a relationship with that person. Because it was like $500 a day.
Oh, that's right.
And then after
That's right.
5, it became $2,500.
That's right.
And they don't just let you send millions of dollars. And they do that for security purposes. So somebody doesn't send themselves all your money.
Yeah.
And you lost it all like this.
Uh-huh.
Going forward, these third-party payment companies are going to be issuing 1099-K tax forms each year once you hit that 600 or more annually.
Yeah.
So it's not per transaction. Again, people they keep thinking it's like it's going to charge $5.99. No. Charge $5.99. That better be the only deal you do
Right, for the
all
year.
year.
Yeah.
So it's for income for goods or services. So going back to what you're
Goods
saying,
and services.
goods and services. So,
So if you sell your TV.
we're going to talk about that, not necessarily. So
Oh, okay.
goods and services, a lady in my block cooks for people.
Uh-huh.
Stay-at-home mom. And that's how she makes some money on the side to help her household because she has to be a stay-at-home mom. She doesn't have a choice. Kids can't go to school. They're always shutting everything down. She's struggling as it is. Husband's doing as best he can. Okay, fine. So she cooks. Instagram, Twitter, everybody knows somebody who's doing stuff like that, charcuterie boards and cooking. And it's sad to me because it's like just people like that are the ones who are going to feel it the most.
Yeah.
Because people like that are the ones who are being paid via Zelle, Venmo, PayPal. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy about it as a financial person because we like to consult to make people's lives better. And we want people to maximize profits and efficiencies. We don't condone cheating the IRS or stealing from the IRS. That's completely illegal, and we do not condone that. Yeah. But we also don't condone struggling families just having more problems to make a living wage. Yeah. And now they got to worry about paying taxes on the $2,000 a year they make to feed their family, selling whatever. But it's not my opinion. It doesn't matter what I think of things. Yeah, it's just what it is, and that's how we have to be. Yeah, it's just what it is, and we have to go forward.
It's the name of the game. You got to play by the rules, huh?
That's it.
So this is starting January the 1st of 2022.
Yeah, this started. We're 20 days in.
Yeah.
So this tax form, the 1099-K, it does sometimes include non-taxable transactions as well. So then
such as what?
Well, like certain things, like going back to your
question about the TV.
Yeah. So if you sold the TV
for $400,
right, but you bought that TV for $1,000, you didn't make an income. You took a loss.
So you wouldn't report that.
Actually, let me scroll down to the notes on that because there's a lot of that stuff where
yeah. Huh. I mean, that makes sense.
So you won't owe taxes on the sale. That's a personal item you've sold at a loss. However, you may be required to show documentation of the original purchase.
Wow.
To prove it. You have to prove that you lost on that item.
Ay. Do you really think they're going to crack down on people like that?
Yeah. I do. I definitely do.
Well, cash is king, my friend.
We're not condoning.
We're not condoning, but cash is king.
We're not condoning avoiding taxes.
Yeah.
Not condoning anything along those lines. If you owe taxes, you owe taxes, regardless of your personal opinion. We're not condoning anybody to not pay their taxes. We're not condoning anybody to hide their wages. Again, it's what is legally required of you by the IRS. So,
yeah.
Personal items sold at a loss will be, in fact, taxed.
Yeah.
Not taxed. I apologize.
Oh,
Personal
not taxed,
items, if
not
they're sold at
taxed.
a loss, will not be taxed.
Not be taxed.
But they still will probably generate a report. Because I don't think that software, that's what I'm trying to figure out is how's that software going to know? Because the categories of non-taxation.
Well, maybe they're going to break it all down and, you know, when it comes.
Yeah, but how are they going to know that? Unless their app specifically is going to start saying categories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they provide all that information to, like, accountants, you know?
Yeah, but not everybody can afford to go pay a tax person or accountant. I'm just trying to figure out, like, going forward, the average Joe Schmo who takes rent from his buddies and those buddies pay him through Venmo, sorry guys, we had technical difficulty there. So through those cash apps, somebody pays their taxes, somebody pays their roommate rent, unless that application specifically says this is a designation for rent, it's going to trigger the $600 form. And I'm assuming when they go to do their taxes, they're going to have to say, hey, this category of transaction is just rent or, you know, whatever else it's supposed to be. But I have the transactions here that don't qualify for taxation. So these are rumors that were circulating, by the way. This is what I was talking about, like the rumors that circulate that the IRS was cracking down on money sent through third-party payment apps, family and friends. But it's not true. Personal transactions involving gifts, favors, or reimbursements are not considered taxable.
Okay.
Some examples of non-taxable transactions include money received from a family member as a holiday or birthday gift, money received from a friend covering their portion of a restaurant bill, money received from your roommate or partner for their share of the rent and utilities. Now, again, everybody listening, we are not giving you tax advice. This is something you're going to sit down with a tax professional to determine if these things meet the criteria of what you need them to meet by. First and foremost, we're just giving information. So this is very important, especially when you're doing a podcast like this that covers something as sensitive as taxes. So now that this law is in effect, those payment apps, right, are probably going to be reaching out to people via email to like discuss tax changes. Like they're probably going to ask for your tax ID number, if you're a business, your EIN number, if you're an individual, your social, and like proof of verification. Kind of like Coinbase
I feel like
does.
they already do that though, right?
Some do, some don't, from what I understand.
Yeah, okay.
But they're going to have to start doing that. So, I mean, it's just what it is. Like freelance workers or something, it's typically don't have to provide their social security number, especially if they're on like
a different country.
Because most people do that stuff from their personal account. Like most of those people don't even have business accounts. Like a guy who works a 9 to 5 and then happens to be really good with his hands, who makes like wooden stuff.
Yeah.
Chances are he just takes the money into his personal account.
Yeah.
Because he's not doing it frequently enough, and he's not doing it.
It's like a hobby, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a hobby that pays him like $1,000 a year. Well, now he's going to have to report the income on that hobby. Technically speaking, he was always supposed to report that income on the hobby. If we're trying to get technical with it, you were always supposed to.
Yeah.
It's just people weren't. And now there's no more, getting around it.
Yeah, that's going to make it really tough on a lot of people, man. But, hey, it's just what it is.
It's the law of the land.
Yeah.
And, who knows? New office, new administration could come in and they could just say this is ridiculous. We won't know how this pans out until the next year. It's just people going forward, don't spread misinformation about what is and what isn't. And again, things change. Like we said in the beginning of this podcast, what we talk about today could be obsolete in a week.
And this is happening in every state, or is this just in California?
No, this is an IRS thing.
Just, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
government.
Yeah.
The government.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure maybe the states, because you have to pay state and federal. Mm-hmm. So the states will take that 1099 income and do that accordingly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because income's income.
Yeah.
It's just not like I don't think they're probably just going to tax it at ordinary income. They're probably not going to tax it at capital gains.
Is it possible for a governor of a state to write some sort of executive order against the federal government?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know to the extent, but I doubt that would even ever happen. Even if it did.
You never know, man.
Even if it did happen, fine. He may say the state doesn't care.
Yeah.
But the IRS says, okay, fine. We do. You still have to report it to the feds. I mean, you have to remember how that works. You have feds and state.
Yeah.
You can smoke weed in California and Oregon and all these in Washington. Yeah. You can't smoke weed in, a lot of other states.
Yeah.
It's a state legislation thing, right? Mm-hmm. But putting it in retrospect, the state says marijuana is legal in California, but banks who are federally insured won't let them bank there.
That's right.
So going back to your point, sure. The state could say we don't have an issue with it, but the feds are going to say, well, okay,
yeah,
anything that has to do with us, it's a no go.
Yeah.
There was the other thing I was talking about, which is definitely. So there was a tab for income earned through illegal activity,
such as. Okay, I have an idea. Go ahead.
So, like, if you sold drugs, guns.
Yeah.
Racketeer. I mean, whatever illegal activity, and you earned an income.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pull this up right now because it's just it's from IRS is reminding thieves, drug deals, bribes, stolen goods, prostitution, any illegal activity.
Yeah.
That they have to do a 1040 in a Schedule C, like a sole proprietor.
Really?
Yeah. So
I didn't even know that existed.
It does. That form's always existed. That's a business
I've never
form.
even heard of that.
Yeah, so business owners, sole proprietors, and, business owners, they'll file what's called Schedule C in a Form 1040, and that's your itemized deductions and your profit and loss.
And it's completely legal.
No, that's a form. You just file that form. But any business files that form for legal activity. Now they're saying if you do illegal activity,
okay.
you're going to have to file
under that
form.
Document. Okay.
So here's the kicker, right?
Uh-huh.
The agency requests if you steal property, you must report its fair market value, but only if you don't return it to its rightful owner in the same year. What has been happening lately? A lot of theft.
A lot of theft, yeah. A lot
Smashing
of people breaking
grabs.
into,
I said this to a buddy, another tax guy. I said, Bugsy Siegel, Lucky Luciano, Al Capone, murderers, racketeering, prostitution, drugs, weapons. How'd they all go to jail? Tax evasion.
That's crazy.
So, I'm okay with this criminal law.
Yeah.
Because we don't commit crimes. We're not worried about it. But I really think that it's a way to get people on tax evasion crimes.
Oh, yeah.
That's my opinion.
No, it's true.
It's speculation. It could not
true.
be. But it's like,
I think what they're trying to do is have a level playing field for everyone to be able to be on the same page, pay the same amount, not of course on taxes, but everyone has to pay taxes. Everyone has to just be on the same page. I don't know.
I'm gonna read what Garrett.
And we need a level playing field, man, because
so I pulled this from NBC News, this article. And Gary Schroeder is a Maryland-based tax preparer, and they asked him a question, and he said, and I quote, "All income from whatever source is taxable income, unless excluded by an act of Congress. If you receive $500 to kill your neighbor's annoying rooster, or find $1 on the street, or embezzle from your employer, that's all taxable income, as well as your paycheck from flipping burgers at McDonald's."
Wow. He said that?
Yeah. I don't know why I said flipping burgers at McDonald's.
That's
He could have just said from your job. But the point is,
that's funny.
If any crime. So if you bought drugs and you sold drugs, you have to report how much you spent on the drug purchase. how much you spend on the drug sale,
That's wild.
and what the income you received.
They just want to know everything.
They want to know everything. This is a funny one to me, man. This is the one that, like, if this was the only thing, and it's always existed. This isn't new. Revenue has always meant to be reported.
Yeah.
Any money you earn,
But legal activity? No.
illegal activity, right? But illegal activity,
Yeah.
it's still money. People making millions of dollars off illegal activity.
Why? I don't know, man. It's kind of, yeah.
We don't question. We can question it all day. I didn't even.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind this one. I think this is fun.
No, I think it's great. I just think it's kind of
honestly, if this was the new
kinda
one that
weird.
came out, and it's like, all right, great.
Yeah.
I'd rather somebody make money making nice tables
Yeah,
and charcuterie
of
boards
course, of
than
course.
pouring drugs into the inner city.
No, I agree.
Like, so,
I agree. It's just a weird way of just going about doing all that. I've never heard of that before. It's one great way for them to get caught. Yeah, I don't know.
it's
Crazy
just what
stuff.
it is.
Crazy
You have to
stuff.
report all your income.
Yeah,
I mean,
crazy stuff.
we'll see. I mean,
Yeah. I'm sure a lot more news is going to come out on this.
I know. And the thing is, like, that industry, the illegal in anything industry, it's a $1 billion industry. Billions and billions and billions of dollars in drug sales, weapon sales, prostitution, racketeering,
Sex
smuggling,
trafficking.
sex trafficking. And it's like, am I upset that all those people who are breaking businesses and stealing items and doing things that they shouldn't be, criminal activity, selling drugs on the streets to inner cities to kids, like, do I think that they should reap the benefits of no taxation and walking away free? No, absolutely not. They should be held accountable for all. I think everybody should be held accountable for everything that they do. It's just what it is. So you talk about fair playing field. It is a fair playing field. You know, from a citizen standpoint, I agree with you that I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
As a tax professional and a financial advisor and business consultant,
I mean, if
I
they really
understand.
wanted to control that aspect, let's be honest.
Well,
I think change starts
it's not
with the
control-
politicians.
It's not controlling the aspect, because you are always supposed to report. Again, coming back, we have a personal take on things, but there's the professional take on things.
Yeah.
I personally don't think it's a big deal if I think there should be a threshold, like waive the income up to a couple $1,000s, depending on the activity. Like, not drugs, not selling drugs.
Right.
Like, if you sell $2,000 worth of drugs a year, you don't have to pay taxes on it. You're okay. No, I'm talking about, like, a mom, like I mentioned, trying to feed her kids. I don't think she should be taxed on $2,000. Personally, it doesn't matter.
That's a
what I
moral
think
opinion.
That's a moral standpoint.
Right.
As a professional,
Yeah.
it's income.
Yeah.
Any dollar earned
Yes.
for services, repairs, sales, it's income. It should have always been reported.
Yeah.
So I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And that's just separating the two.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that today, that's pretty much what's going on. I mean, this is
Wild
one of those.
stuff. Wild stuff.
There's really nothing else on that one
Yeah.
other than that. I mean, it's that's all we got so far. Anything
Yeah.
that comes from that, we'll go ahead and update. We'll probably keep this one.
I think later down the road we'll bring up another
I'm
podcast
sure.
and just talk more
I'm
about
sure
it.
people are going to have questions, and it's going to be, and as that comes across, this one we were just going to do a quick podcast to kind of
just to touch
base on,
yeah.
because we promised people we would talk about it, but we
Yeah.
just said until it was.
I didn't think it would happen this quickly though.
I knew it was going to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen for $600.
Yeah.
I think if we go back to that podcast, I said
Because I think you said 10,000.
they were saying that. They were
Yeah.
the ones who were saying that. The
Yeah.
IRS was throwing that number around. Government was saying, you know what, 600, it's just too little
I
of an
knew it was
amount.
going to be 600.
I
do
did
it in my heart.
You're right. You're right. And when you're right, you're right. I'm sorry. That's just what it is. You get that one. I owe
thank
you
you.
a beer.
I owe you a beer.
You can win that one. But we appreciate everybody listening. I think we're good on this one.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Again, I am not advising any of you with your taxes. This is public information.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you would like for us to sit down and look at your taxes, that's no problem. Reach out to us, www.mitm.services.
Yeah.
Go to our YouTube channel if you're looking to watch any more of our content. And if you'd like to pick the next topic, feel free to join our membership program.
Or drop a comment in the comment section.
Yeah, you guys, we would love for everybody to
Love
be
the
more
ideas.
engaged and have questions for us live. And,
Yeah.
sometimes in certain podcasts we get that and other times we don't. But We'll appreciate everybody's time. And again, this is just strictly information. We're not giving anybody advice. I'm a licensed tax professional from the state of California and with the IRS, so my PTIN and CTEC are valid. We're just sharing information that was made public. And again, if you have any questions for you specifically, feel free to reach out to a tax professional, and they will be able to, or we will be able to, depending who you pick, help you figure out what your tax situation is going to look like in the coming years. Appreciate everybody listening. Feel free to check us out on Instagram, MITM Business Consulting. And we hope everybody has a great day, and we'll get back to you with the next one. Again, this one's just a quick, short one because we thought it was really important to talk about.
Yeah.
Hope everybody has a great day and enjoy the rest of your night.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Man in the Middle. If you haven't yet, please consider liking and subscribing to the show. If you can't wait till next episode, follow us on Instagram at MITM Business Consulting and online at mitm.services. There, you can learn more about what we do, how we can help, and the custom services we offer around your personal needs. Until next time, if you'd like to choose the topic we discuss and receive additional services, consider joining our membership program at mitm.services.
Disclaimer. Man in the Middle expressly disclaims any and all liability or responsibility for any direct, indirect, incidental, special, consequential, or other damages arising out of any individual's use of, reference to, reliance on, or inability to use this podcast or the information presented in this podcast.
We look forward to you tuning in next time.